And we're live.
Double intro.
Wow, double intro. What does it mean?
What does it mean? Double intro. What does it mean? Oh man, both of those get me so fucking hyped. I literally just sit in the back, just jamming out as that goes.
Man, yeah,
Dude, I had to play, man. It's not every day I get Wendy's for tendies and the investor here.
Oh yeah, the three amigos. We're up in this easy.
That's right.
Living our best lives. On here to talk a little bit of this revenge pump. We should talk shit a little bit about the Hex pumping back up.
Hey man, when Godwell buys, you better have bought or you better be right behind him.
It's funny though, like you could have been in front of him, and it's just funny because you got to remember every time the haters get really really loud, we're close to a bottom, and when and that goes for anything, right? Right. That goes for any token. Like when the haters get the loudest, it's happened in Ethereum. There's been Bitcoin maxis that talk so much shit that I literally walked to the computer and did a 6-figure ETH buy because I'm like, and it boom pumped, like made hundreds of thousands like very quickly from that. And it's the same thing in Hex. When I saw Bob Lucas like tweeting that Hex was going to zero, I was like, all right.
Oh, there we go.
I was like, on my way to the computer, boys. Time to buy.
Guys, Hex failed. It's doing a 70% correction. It's like, okay, pleb.
Pleb was looking at the wrong chart, like didn't even know how to set up his chart. Like and we know, like he knows what he's doing. He was just doing it on purpose. And why is that?
It's just
because
engagement.
They're threatened. Why are they threatened? Why is everybody threatened by Hex? Because what does it aim to do? It's a store of value. Okay. And
destroys everyone's business model.
Yeah, and Bitcoin has been the leader for a long time. So a lot of people are betting on the wrong horse. We're betting on the right one. We're betting on the Ferrari. They're in the Model T. So we already know what's going to happen. It's as simple as that.
Well, that's great. Actually, that's a good segue. I might as well, if you can just share my screen in a second here.
Oh, no, are you going to show the whale?
I'm going to show. Yeah, I'm going to show. Yeah. If you guys don't know, I'm sure most of you guys know, but Godwell has made a Twitter account to essentially prove the fake Godwell account that came out. And it's been pretty fun. Hexicans have been losing their mind on Twitter today.
We should probably tell people who Godwell is in the first place because we have some guys who aren't like Hexicans.
Yeah. Let them know. Preach the gospel.
All right, so Godwell is Godwell. All right, later, guys. That's it.
So there was this guy Ishmael back in the day.
So basically, back in the
April.
early what?
April 2020. Yep.
Yeah, back in the day, right? Yeah, back in the day when Hex was first created, it was only I think Hex was only about 4.5-ish months, basically old. The Godwell entered the arena and just Giga Chad pumped Hex up.
Think he bought about 10,000 ETH worth or something absolutely
It was 10,
absolutely crazy.
It was
Did you do
10,000
multiple
ETH
orders
market
or a
buy.
single
No,
purchase?
it was
Purchase, right?
10,000 ETH market buy.
Market buy.
Market
So
buy, right?
the slippage alone was fucking awful to him, but he didn't give a fuck.
He literally, the thing is he sent Hex to the moon, and you would think, right?
Oh, wait,
imagine if someone bought like, let's just say $10 million worth right now. You would assume that the price would pull back, but the price never went back. It just kept going and going and going. And
that
was the first really, really bullish event that Hex had, because it was showing that somebody that is a big dog, and I'm talking big dog, billionaire in the space, like believes in Hex. And yeah, he's back. He was an ETH Genesis whale. This guy has diamond hands. So in the comments they said, hey, do you hang out in Hex trading? He goes, I'm not a trader, I'm a holder. And if you're holding Ethereum from 30 cents to, pretty much like $5,000, you're a hodler, okay? And this guy believes that Hex is a better version of Bitcoin. And all I can say is strap the fuck in, guys. We're going way higher than you guys.
This is the first time he's ever shown him. He's ever talked to us.
Yeah. So after 2 years, like that was the first real big event. Like it was huge back in the day because all of us were talking to each other like, oh shit, like this could be a thing, guys. Like when you have someone like this and that's been in the ecosystem in crypto for pretty much since conception, and they see the value in a crypto like Hex, like, yeah, you're in the right place. So this was a tweet he was responding to me, like he was responding to all of us in this thread, but this is the most bullish thing I've ever seen. So Hex is the next big thing in crypto since the creation of Bitcoin. Hex over delivers on the promise of Bitcoin on every front. It's just that people are very slow to see the genius and Nobel Prize winning aspects of Hex. We will just have to show them, I guess. So that is the most bullish fucking tweet I have ever seen in my lifetime. Ever. Ever. God, yeah. And he's right. It delivers on everything that Bitcoin was supposed to be. It was designed to be a better Bitcoin. This guy that's held Ethereum since 30 cents sees it. He's been in the space this entire time. The guy just does not sell his stack. And if this guy vouches it, gives it the seal of approval, finally after 2 years comes on and starts talking to the community, and he makes a statement of, I guess we'll just have to show these idiots what's up. Like, yeah, you might want to make your buys. Just saying. Saying.
The Godwell is the one that's called the real Godwell, not the other. There's some guy that was pretending to be.
He said he's going to delete the account, but we will see.
Well, could you show? Can you scroll? Is it up? I think it is.
Yeah.
We're pretty much talking about it, like.
Let's see. Yeah, let me scroll up. So this is the fake Godwell. So he changed his name. He kind of tried to play it off. He's like, oh, it was just a joke, which, yeah, but at the same time, people were calling it out. He's like, oh, like, I am the Godwell, until like the real Godwell showed up and then actually sent Hex from its actual wallet. So now it's the fake Godwell account. And this is kind of what kicked off this whole thread. Is Fundy Jim came on here and told him to send him a small amount. And then the real Godwell came up with this Team God, the real Godwell account, and sent the transaction. So if you guys go on that thread and check it out, you can actually trace it back to the Godwell's wallet. So pretty dope. Again,
he actually ended a stake a few hours ago. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's
how much was it?
It's 800 million Hex, something like 200 and something million dollars, $235 million or something.
He's got about $3 billion in Hex, guys. Just so you know, just in Hex, USD. 3 billion.
Yep.
3 billion.
And he's not going to sell any of this. I'm telling you, like it's a long-term play. He's betting that Hex is the real, the better store of value as we know it is. And it's for all the reasons that we know, the liquidity is made to pump Hex. and it's just going to keep happening. And I think the long-term play for him is OTC deals when Michael Saylor realizes, oh wow, I could get yield on a better asset, and not have to like lend coins or do anything like that. It's just a better version.
Yeah, just go back to the thread, guys, and just go on Etherscan. You can follow all the transactions back. But just go back to conversation. Again, you can verify all this stuff on the blockchain. You don't have to take someone's word for them saying they're Godwell or whatever. As you can see, it was a fake Godwell account, and the real Godwell came out and proved them wrong just with a simple transaction. Pretty awesome.
Because it's pretty likely. I mean, I'm glad Godwell came out to. I can't believe I'm calling somebody Godwell. Jesus.
I told him to come to London so I can buy him a beer. I won't know I'm buying you a beer, but come to London.
I bought everyone in London a beer.
Yeah, I'm gonna narrow it down. If someone comes up to me and asks me if I'm gonna buy them a beer, I'm like, Godwell.
When I looked for the tickets for the London trip, dude, it was already sold out. I was like, shit.
Really?
Yeah, everything sold out. It sold out hella quick.
I mean, they did it in a couple waves. You could have caught one. I'm sure we can get you in if you just come to London.
Technically, Dustin owes me his VIP ticket, so then you could have mine.
Yeah, you can just have that because Wendy's and I already bought a ticket.
Got you.
Yeah, we'll get you in. You just got to come to London.
All right.
Tickets were only like $500. They're cheap.
Oh no, I know. I looked. When I looked, it was sold out. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we'll get you in. You're Hex royalty. Get a free pass.
Yay.
Yeah. So man, I felt like a kid on Christmas. Like no
I
joke.
mean, it's super exciting. I mean, this is literally one of the biggest events I think that's happened in Hex in a long time, and it's super exciting for the space, and I love how how this dip played out. A lot of people thought we were going to 5-6 cents, and Hex has shown time over time, right? How many times do we have to post a chart with all the dips, right? And this last one was the second largest dip that we had. It was the also second longest dip we had, I believe. It might have been the longest, actually. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was the longest. But
second longest,
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was also second longest. So, guys, I mean, like the thing is like greed works both ways, right? You can get greedy on the way down and greedy on the way up, and the greedy on the way down just robs you of good price points. So when you're saying 13 cents isn't enough, you want 6 cents. Well, what is it now? 25, 26 cents. Like you robbed yourself. You robbed yourself of opportunity. So
you rugged yourself, son.
Yeah, you rugged yourself. Congratulations.
You plugged yourself.
Yep. So you really gotta change your thinking. When you have an asset that's going to $100 plus, which is not a meme. It's really gonna do those kind of numbers. If you see a big pullback, guys, take advantage of it. I mean, like some people were talking shit on Twitter about people that were buying the 30% dip or whatever, because it went 60-70%. Guys, I mean, Hex can sometimes dip 30% and then go up multiples of X after that.
Right.
And that's why DCAing in crypto is really like a key strategy. People who do super large buys and aren't consistent, you're much more prone to the swings of the market and the swings of your emotion. And if you guys saw how emotional Twitter was, especially Hex Twitter in the last couple of weeks, I mean, it was insane. It was toxic. I mean,
funny how quickly that changes overnight.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, and it swings the other way. Yep. But what I'm saying is like if DCAing is a way to mitigate that, so you're not acting like a bitch.
It's almost like you should dollar cost crypto.
They don't. I was about to say they don't call them dollar cost crypto for nothing.
That's true.
Did I catch that?
Gotta show the DCC.
But that's true what Wendy's is talking about, though. I mean, even for any coin, it's like if you are doing those large purchases, you better hope to God that you are buying at a good price on that dip or something like that, because it can just escape from you. Because if you think it's going to be lower and you don't buy, you're shit out of luck. Basically.
Yeah, and I love like the dynamic dollar cost approach where it's like the lower it goes. So like if let's say you have 100,000, right? Or let's just make it easy and say you have 120,000. Okay, right. And you're gonna dollar cost over a year. That'd be 10,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
Well, dynamic dollar costing is when the price goes down more, you start increasing. So instead of doing an exact 10,000, the next month you might do, if it goes down more, you might do 12,000 and 14. So you're speeding it up, but you're taking advantage because, dynamically the prices, it shouldn't be at the lowest point for a super long time. So you're increasing your DCA as it continues to go down. That's a pretty good strategy.
Yes, sir. If it did, this is what I told to a lot of my students is if it went below 10 cents, I was going to ape in a stupid.
Oh my god! I go homeless.
I wouldn't have anything else.
I go homeless. I'd sell everything.
Homeless?
Sell everything, loan, you name it.
I'm Motley.
All of them must go. I'm the richest I've ever been, and I have nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but 100%. If it ever made it below 10 cents,
dude,
like
that's so cool that he followed you, man. That's sick.
Yeah. Bro, I'm telling you, like I felt like a little kid on Christmas, like next to Richard follow me. That was the coolest thing ever. I was just like, man,
Richard unfollowed me twice one time, and then unfollowed me twice.
He still follows you now, though, right? No, he doesn't. Damn, I was hoping he'd come back. He followed
me once when we made the Discord syndicate way back in the day, and let's see what happened. Yeah, when we started the Discord syndicate about a month in, he followed me, Hexo, Crypto Coffee, and stuff like that, and then he just unfollowed me. I was like, all right, cool. And then maybe 6 months later, he was like, yeah, like I'm gonna go on a following spree. He followed me back. I was like, hey, cool. I was like,
sweet, I'm back in.
I was like all happy and stuff, trying to keep it clean and kosher and shit. And then like
Phantom Boo and everything. It's like, oh no.
No, it was before Big Payday.
Yeah. I was before Big Payday that long ago.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? He kicked me out again. And I was like, all right.
It's all right, man.
Yeah.
You like to go into the rest of the crypto. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Him while I'm in London.
Over tea and crumpets, I'll hit up the big man and pass along a good word for you. I mean, right now you can go buy dinner for him for like 101 hex, so not a bad deal.
Right. I was gonna ask you about that. I was like, should we do it?
Bro, you wait till the last minute for sure. Like,
of course. Yeah.
Let's not do it on stream.
Let's not even talk about.
All these guys are gonna freaking jack us for it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
about your watch again, right? So
yeah. Yeah, no, but I mean, I figure when we go to that event, we'll have a couple chances to meet him and hang out. So I'm not stressing either way. But it's a free meal, so free. I mean, for 100 hex, like I'm sure it's a top-notch meal, and you get Richard. Not a bad deal.
I think I don't know this for sure, but I think they said they were providing like food and everything anyway, and drinks. Yeah. So I'm assuming like the whole thing is like catered. I mean, they're getting a decent amount of money, so. We'll see. Yeah,
I wonder where the venue. I know like the vicinity of the venue, but I don't know where the venue is. But I'm excited.
This is funny.
Nice.
Fathead. He's like, what the fuck is going on with everybody? We can't even goddamn agree on making fucking mad gains. It's pure insanity at this point. Yeah, I mean it's fucking crazy right now, and like you can tell that we got quite a lot of new people into Hex and stuff. The way people were acting.
That's why Twitter was so loud during that dip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad and shit. I mean, I even saw people go after Brand.
Yeah, I did see some of that. Yeah.
What did Brand do?
I had to go slap around some dude that like came into like some random Telegram group I was in. He's like, man, Brand's such a hypocrite, fucking talking about holding on to Hex, and then he's dumping our heads, and he's like, had like a whole list of all these transactions. He's dumping all. It's like, bro, that's not Brand. He's like, how do you know? I was like, because I know Brand's wallet. That's not Brand. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yes. Like, go fuck off. Like,
there's a lot of.
And if he wanted to sell, then cool, so be it. Like, you should be happy.
There's a lot of fan fiction about all of us. I mean, we've read it all. We've read individual messages, like in other telegrams. You know, people send us like stuff people say about me. People say about Motley. I mean, people said that Motley
during our travel my Omega, my little Omega was a top signal. Meanwhile, Miguel's got his like Rolly over there.
I can tell you right now, Motley sold 0 hex to get that. So it's just kind of it's funny. Like
I didn't even use fiat. That shit's on fucking finance.
I'll tell you exactly how I paid for this Rolex with RGT fucking shitcoin money.
Oh my god.
I was like, you know what? I held enough to the bottom on this. We got back to a decent price. So you know what? I'm gonna buy myself something.
Well, you know what's funny is technically your girl had a Rolly before you did.
Fucking
She
do
did.
not bring that up.
Well,
That pissed me off.
if you really want to bring it up, she has a Rolly before us too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. It irritated me a little bit. She was like, "I never want to roll it."
Yeah, it was funny, guys, because we were at the mall and like we're checking it out, and like he bought her a Rolex, and then like I forgot, like we were looking at something else. He came up, and he was just like, he's like, I can't believe she's getting a Rolex before me. He's like, I was like, you should buy one. He's like, should I? I was like, yes, yes, you should. You got it, bro. Do it.
So many shit coins were hurt that day.
Yeah, only shit coins.
She got a Tiffany blue. What's it?
That's the Oyster Perpetual. Yeah.
Perpetual, yeah.
I'm actually glad that the way it all worked out, where she got that one over the pink one, because the Tiffany blue dial way more valuable out of all that whole series.
That pink one was aftermarket. That pink
What's
one was so the pink one does exist in the 36 case.
Oh, they changed the bezel?
But you mean the 41?
Or
but in the 41 that she had, that color doesn't exist for some reason. They excluded the pink out of the 41, which is crazy.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, they did. I really looked into it.
So what was the deal? Was it like a fake dial or something?
Real aftermarket. It was just an aftermarket.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they didn't have the papers, bro.
That's why they had the paper. Man, yeah, guys, this place was so fucking sketchy. Like so Miguel goes and buys this girl this watch, and it's pink Oyster Perpetual, which evidently first they gave him a price, which was okay, but then they're like, oh, it's actually a 41 millimeter, and if you know anything about watches, usually
you're right.
the larger watches are more expensive, and so they started charging more. We're like, oh, that's kind of bullshit. And then like we're kind of looking up and like didn't really see anything on like a 41 pink dial, and evidently for whatever reason they decided to exclude that. I guess mainly because it was predominantly a woman's watch. And then we get back and he goes and opens the box. He's like, guys, there's no like Rolex card in here or whatever, no papers for this watch. And it was just something and they said it had papers and everything like that when we bought it. We're like, oh, that's fucking weird. And then they try to feed him some bullshit story. It's like, oh yeah, when we bought it, they did send the papers or whatever.
Like,
blah,
the
blah,
papers are in Cali or something.
Yeah, but we'll get those mailed. And we're like, nah, bro, that's not a thing. Like if they bought that with papers, they would have gotten those papers. Like that doesn't make any sense.
So I ended up talking to the son, and the son told me like the real what really ended up happening and shit. Because we were talking crypto for a while, and he bought some hex. Anyway, he was pretty much telling me what was going on. Is they were having this vendor they were buying from out of fucking Salt Lake that was selling them basically problem watches basically.
They should.
Yeah, and then they stopped. They already stopped doing business with the dude, but they got that watch from him and stuff, so they didn't know what was going on, and they were like, oh shit.
They should have known. They should have known better with the amount of watches they had in that fucking place. I don't know if I 100% agree with believe them or not, but either way.
I mean, this is the son. This is the son and stuff. Of course, the dad. The dad was going to say some other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. You got the Tiffany blue dial, better, more collectible watch, real with papers. So it all worked out.
Yeah.
Good
Ethereum
times.
to 10K.
Yeah.
No, fuck out of here. I'm about to say like, no way.
Not now.
Ethereum's going to go to 10K,
but
I think Ethereum's going to go to 10K, but like
a little bit more.
But also like, the price of transactions and everything will be, so high. It's just, I mean, Ethereum, look, the guy who's holding hundreds of thousands of Ethereum is not interested in Ethereum.
Exchanging it for Hex. My God.
Seriously, what does that tell you? Like,
yo, that's wild.
I was in Ethereum early. Like, it's just, guys, I mean, Ethereum, I'm sure will be great again at some point, but there's just better moves. There's better moves to make right now.
Yeah. The guy that's literally been holding Ethereum since the Genesis block, 30 cents, has decided to reallocate into Hex. Like, if that's not your fucking signal to get Hex, I don't know what to tell you. You're just going to stay poor, I guess. I really don't know.
That's
you have to have a Hex allocation. Got to. It's the next
you got
one.
You got to. And I mean, like, I understand, like, if you're holding ETH, I mean, like, I've been in ETH a long time, and But the thing is, Hex is just going to outpace it, and the sooner that you realize that, the sooner that you're going to be happy. Because, because with my group of friends, I was by far the richest for a long time. Well, once people started passing me up, I was like, uh-oh. I better get rid of my Ethereum. Like, this is not going good. And you know, if I could tell you how much I made since I did that, it's crazy. It was one of the best, and I still have hundreds of Ethereum, but you know, it was still one of the best decisions I did was to allocate way more to Hex. I mean, it's going to continue to outpace ETH. I mean, that's just the way it is. Sorry.
And you also, and you know, the one thing I do like about the Hexagons too is that, especially for Hexagons that really like decide to throw a lot, like, you know, it's everyone's decision to throw whatever they throw into crypto at that point. So whatever they choose to risk and stuff. And if you choose to be more of a heavy person in Hex or like a max, or just go full, you know, Hex only in your thing, you know, you got to live with the consequences, but you also get the rewards as well.
Right.
It's the same thing, and you know. I did more of a blended strategy. Some other guys went more all in and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter as long as you staked out, you held and stuff, or you're just holding liquid, and that's fine. But it's, I mean, especially for a small guy. I mean, like I have like a 20% recommendation in terms of like a 20% allocation of your whole portfolio in the Hex side and stuff. And if once Pulse goes live, it'll probably be a little closer to 30% and stuff. But some people can work, but that's just more of a guideline for new people in crypto. At a certain point, you do choose like your weighting yourself, right? But when you do choose your weighting, you are responsible for if there is a big crash, it's on you. You know, it really is. So
it always is. It always is.
It always is. That's why I put the disclaimers in at the end of the intro and stuff, just because you guys are the ones that buy and hold crypto, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to do this AMA a little bit right now, especially in terms of like sometimes the best thing to do is to walk away from the computer.
Absolutely, I mean, like you see, like there's OGs that have disabled their Twitter because it was just getting too toxic for them, and that's fine. I mean, you got to be able to have something that you can take your mind off. I've said it before on many a stream. One of the best things that you can do is make friends in a community. Because when you're feeling like, like overwhelmed, you can rely on your other friends and you can bounce ideas off. You can say, okay, this is rational. This is not rational. And, that's going to really help your peace of mind. And you won't be one of the people on Twitter that's like, crying and, acting a fool.
Yeah. Wendy's and I went traveling instead of fucking looking at the price dip of Hex the entire time. Like we're out in Portugal having a fucking amazing time, like not thinking about any of that stuff. Like it got my affairs in order and like go out, do stuff, go to the gym, go like take the dog to the dog park. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, especially when you're in the right asset, like literally the name of the game is just to hold. Like that's all you got to do. That's how like the God Whale became so successful. It's just like he bought the right asset and he just held it the whole time. That's it. And then you had the added feature of Hex and staking where you literally save yourself from losing out on those gains. You stake it, lock it up with code, and you can't even touch it. So you have nothing to worry about when it comes to the price.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, like the Godwell, think about that, guys. He got in at like 30 cents, and he's hodled this entire time. Look at what ETH has done, right? It went from like $7 to 45. It hung out there, goes up to 420, crashes to 125, 115, something like that. Goes to 300, stays there for a few months, goes all the way to 1,400, crashes to like $80. I mean, all of that, and this guy held the entire fucking time. And now it's
until
like
Hex came along.
Probably going to go. Yeah, true. Yeah, he did that. He still has like hundreds of thousands of ETH. I mean,
he has just as much ETH as Vitalik does. Like it's wild, absolutely wild.
That's fun.
But it just goes to show you, like you got it, like the day to day. Like this is all noise, man. You got to think long term, man. Like the Godwell is doing 5.555s. I mean, like he's a long term thinker, and he's not going to be swayed by these market emotions. And think about this. Like this guy's got billions of dollars now. When the price dips 50%, the guy is losing more money than most of us will ever see in like multiple generations. I mean, this guy is truly, truly, truly wealthy. And he looks like he's just taking it in stride. So you gotta think like a whale.
So on this recent dip, he probably was down to like $1 billion or $800 million or something.
Yeah, easy,
crazy.
Dude, this question's
I was just gonna make a comment real quick on that. It's just like once you hit a certain threshold of wealth, like it's all irrelevant, right? Like it doesn't matter anymore. You can just you do whatever you want. Like you find out whatever your mission is life or what matters to you, and you can focus on that. But money just becomes irrelevant at that point. So like I mean, you see that like Godwell, before he started pumping the price and showing up on Twitter, like he donated 100 Ethereum to the Hex documentary. He just dropped it in their wallet, like no big deal. Like here you guys go. Here's a $500,000 donation. Enjoy. Knock yourselves out on the Hex documentary. Like how cool is that?
That's awesome.
Crazy.
You can shower people in your life with cool shit.
Yep.
Yeah, or the internet or internet buddies and stuff. But
Internet buddies.
yeah. So okay, so you said Red says rumor has it if you have ETH during the snapshot during your wallet, what you're going to only get the same amount of pulse, which is 10.
Yep, you're gonna get a 1-to-1 swap of your Ethereum to Pulse. So essentially,
Right, so if you
your
have one
$4,600 of Ethereum is gonna be cyber dust of Pulse. So yeah. You honestly, if Richard does make an announcement of like when the fork is going to occur, like he's talked about doing a date window, and you have a decent size Ethereum bag, it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and convert that into Hex because it'll probably be a week or two window. And you're not going to see too much, even if a ETH does a little bit of a pump, you're not going to see too much depreciation. But what you are going to get is a very valuable copy of Hex on the Pulse chain. So if you're sitting on a large bag of ETH and Richard makes that announcement, hey guys, we're going to do the fork of Pulse chain here in the next week or so, it might behoove you to go ahead and switch that over to Hex. And then the Pulse chain goes live. And then if you want to, you can switch it back over to Ethereum. And then you'll have a copy of Hex on Pulse chain. Just something to consider if you're sitting on a couple ETH, 10 ETH, 100 ETH, you name it.
Yeah.
There's multiple things you could do.
I gotta say though, don't try to play the swing, you guys. Don't try to play the pump. If get a position that you actually want in Hex to get caught.
Yeah, and I mean, and you got to think about like most blockchains when they launch, they do crash in the first couple months. So if you do have something like 100 ETH or more, and you're wanting to go into Pulse chain, you gotta really consider a strategy. And I probably wouldn't be all in on one thing. I wouldn't necessarily like be all in Hex to go into Pulse, or I wouldn't be all. You might want to like DCA like we talked about. Because did you guys FOMO in Hex day one?
8 Ethereum, but I continued to DCA out like another 40 days afterwards. So
right, exactly, and that made you a lot of money, right? The DCA.
Yep, DCA one.
I can tell you, like I raged so hard because it dropped like 90%, like after that day. I was like,
there was too much FOMO. There was too much FOMO built up. It'd been over a year delayed. Like everyone just blew it was like getting with that hot girl for the first time. You just blow your wad in like the fucking first minute. It's just like, shit.
and so that's something to consider about Pulse chain, right? Because it's also been, like we've also been waiting. There's a lot of buildup on that. So it could moon on day one. And then
you could get a 10x in a couple days easy, and people are going to go take profits. It's going to tank, and then next thing you know, then we're skyrocketing again. Like you just gotta again, DCA it's the simplest, easiest. There's no thought behind it. You just set your amount, continue to follow that, and it usually pays off well in the long haul.
Always have dry powder. It makes it powerful. It's powerful in the market.
I did not have dry powder during this dip, and it sucked. It sucked so bad. Yeah. So, this is a very good point.
No, definitely, man. So, what you drinking, Molly?
I am drinking Arnold Palmer and Tito's. Gotcha. Been drinking that, screwdrivers, and then I had peach soju at Korean barbecue tonight.
Gotcha. I'm drinking Tears of Hex Haters.
Yeah, I got that too. Actually, I had the LVC mug, but I can switch it over to that as well. Hold on a second.
Right. Get the fuck out of here.
I got both. I don't have much left.
Yeah.
Extra salty.
Extra salty.
Yeah. Oh my god, I don't like Coke. I just like the smell.
What the fuck? All right. Interesting, Oscar. Yeah. What's that question that just popped up underneath?
Which one? The ginger one?
No. The what percentage?
Oh, let me see. Yeah.
What percentage of P hex? So it'll actually be called hex once it launches. But
Yeah.
what percentage hex should I DCA into Pulse tokens when the swap is available? I was in the community till after the sacrifice, so I won't be getting any Pulse tokens on launch. Yeah, it just depends on how much hex you have. I wouldn't recommend you get rid of all of it. You just got to figure out what percentage makes sense for you and your stack currently. I mean, I definitely wouldn't do anything over like 50%, even like maybe 25, 30, 40. You just got to do whatever you feel comfortable with. Both assets are going to do incredibly well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to set up a proper staking ladder, and on Pulse there's no excuse not to, because the transactions will be cheap. So I would say, definitely get some, maybe look for an opportunity on Pulse, because like I said, I mean the FOMO could be really, really crazy early. Like maybe wait for a pullback. If you really don't have a lot of money, then you need to make sure that you're not getting wrecked, right? You need to make sure that every time you buy is like the most opportune time.
Right.
So
it sounds like you're kind of a whale that's lazy in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, you really want both ideally, but you do not think that, just because like Pulse, I think a lot of people think Pulse is going to like 100% like outpace Hex, and it could in the short term, but
short term, not long term.
There's a lot of things in Hex that are unmatched, like the monetization of time, the fact that it can save you from yourself, and that is like one of the biggest things, because it's like if you have under $10,000 in crypto, do you know how you would act with $10 million? Do you?
You wouldn't get to the $10 million. You probably sell before then, or at least a portion of your stack.
Yeah,
Right.
you think that you're strong, you think that you have diamond, but in the end, all hands are paper. Okay, and so you really need to protect yourself from yourself, and you really need to think out ahead.
How many Bitcoiners experience 6 million X plus these days? Like none.
Like nobody.
No one.
I think probably nobody.
Unless you forgot about your wallet or lost access to it and then found it like today. Like that's the only way.
Exactly.
No human being held through 6 million X. It's just not a thing.
Yeah,
except from you. I still hold one like
to basically let you do that.
Yeah.
So,
it's just code.
so I would, so don't overlook Hex. I mean, obviously, PulseChain is a great opportunity, and I think everybody should get some. But don't overlook. Don't think like, okay, that's my moon ticket. Like, also make sure that you take advantage of Hex.
Yeah.
If the network is successful, PulseChain will do amazing. But the biggest thing at the end of the day is store value is always supreme when it comes to appreciating assets. So Hex is the supreme store value asset on planet Earth. So nothing will do better than Hex, guaranteed.
Right. What's up, Art? Man, this guy's a homie right here. I think you're correct. Yeah. So if as long as you have an RC20 token, it's going to get copied out. As long as that RC20 token's in a wallet with your private keys where you own them, where you have control of them, you will get the copy of them. It doesn't matter if Hex is not in the wallet. In terms that you will get a copy of the RC20 token in the snapshot.
What is he asking? Can I get clarification on all ERC20's private wallets being copied over to Pulse regardless if wallet holds Hex?
Yeah, so he's talking
about. It has nothing to do with
Hex.
It's just forking the whole network. So every ERC20,
the whole system
Ethereum will be copied.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
It's the first time it's ever taken place in the history of crypto. So it's going to be an interesting experiment. We were talking about this a little bit earlier on Cabana's show, but it's wild, right? Because everything on Ethereum is getting copied over, and a lot of people, and this was kind of our stance in the beginning too, is just like, a lot of those PRC20 tokens are going to be useless, right? Because you still need the community to come over, you still need someone to build a front end to interact with it and accept these coins, essentially. But after I thought more about it, and I think it was Crypto Heartbeat did a video on this, when you think about it, and the three of us have learned about it too, as we've started our company LVC, and we've started to build our own coins, like devs, development, all this stuff is very expensive. Like you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if the whole system state of Ethereum is being copied over, and all you have to do is come over and build a front end to interact with this free amount of money, and you can bring your whole community, especially these communities that can't survive with these Ethereum gas fees. Like, why would you not do it? You've already invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. all you have to do is switch it over. And it shows the brilliance of Richard Hart's marketing, because he's calling all the Ethereum tokens that get copied over, like Chainlink, Aave, you name it, like they're just going to be called that on the Pulse chain. But everything that's on Ethereum, he's designating it with an E in front of it. So eAave, eChainlink, eHex. And so what he's doing, he's making Pulse Chain the new name brand, right? Like he's like, no, the real Aave, the real Hex, the real everything over here is on Pulse Chain, not Ethereum. And so I think what we might see is we might see the migration of a lot more communities than what we first realized coming over to Pulse Chain. Again, who knows if it's going to be successful or not, but it really is as simple as someone just creating a liquidity pair to give it value. So like you could see all these ERC20s start to come over and essentially adopt the Pulse Chain as their new home, and then essentially the new network becomes Pulse Chain as opposed to Ethereum. It could be absolutely incredible. It could really be it could be wild. And I'm excited for it. I really am.
To answer Angelo's question, no, you probably shouldn't. So like if you want to hold the Ethereum and you're in Celsius, like making interest on it, the Ethereum is getting copied 1-for-1 with Pulse. But you got to remember the Pulse supply is 10,000 Xing Ethereum supply.
It's going to be more than that, actually.
Yeah. So in actuality, like your one Ethereum that turns into one Pulse is going to be like a fraction of a penny. So no reason, so even if you had like 1,000 Ethereum, like you would basically get like nothing. So
unless you're going to convert that Ethereum into something else for the fork.
Right, exactly. But I would say like if you're earning interest, like keep earning interest, and then when you want to buy Pulse, just bridge the Ethereum over and then buy Pulse with it.
Yep. Mr. Steeler keys. That's funny. Dude, I'm like barely waking up. Oh my god, I was taking a nap earlier. I should not have taken a nap, but damn.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I've been up pretty early today, the whole day. Yeah. Anyway, and stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. In the beginning, I think it's just gonna be a lot of I'd be wary of a lot of the newer especially when the chain just launches. I'd be very skeptical unless it's some people you trust and stuff when they're launching projects and stuff. So there could be like random little shit coins launching on Pulse Chain and stuff. I'd be very
careful. It's gonna turn into like a BSC launchpad to start for sure. But that's not necessarily bad, because you got to remember that every transaction, is gonna burn Pulse. Right. And so that's all good for holders, right? If people are speculating and everything like that, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of degen stuff going on, and that's fine. You just got to, sometimes you got to treat that stuff like a gambling mentality. If you go to the casino and you'd be upset losing $200, then you probably don't want to put $200 into total shitcoins with non-doxed devs and stuff like that. Like if they're not showing their face, like probably don't want to put too much money in it, because that's a gamble.
Yeah, time and time again it's shown that devs aren't willing to put themselves out, dox themselves, show their face. Like it's usually not a recipe for success. Just to answer a college question real quick. So when the fork occurs, will it just double the circulating supply of the forked ERC20 tokens? So no, Akala, it's going to it's on a different blockchain. Pulse Chain will actually be a different blockchain. So instead of ERC20s, there'll be PRC20 tokens. So it's not going to double the supply. They will be technically different tokens once it's copied over.
A lot of people talk about like arbitrage, but like really, and I hear this all the time. I hear this from like Hexagon streamers and stuff too. But it's like it's kind of like they're getting it wrong, right? So like a lot of people will compare Bitcoin to WBTC, but that's completely different, because when you're wrapping a Bitcoin, you have to have a Bitcoin locked up, right? So so theoretically you can arbitrage that, because it's the same thing. You're locking up. So if, for example, if to move one hex to Pulse Chain, you had to lock up a hex, then yes, they would be the same price theoretically. And if they were disproportionate, you could arbitrage that. This is a completely different coin. So eHex and Hex on the Pulse Chain can be wildly different in price. One could be 1 cent and one could be $1.
Can you repeat that again, Wendy's? That's fucking very important. I don't think people understand that.
So it's not the same coin. So when you have anything that's like wrapped, like Bitcoin, and you want to have Bitcoin on Ethereum, you have to lock up the Bitcoin to make it wrapped. Okay. And you can exchange that. So like the same thing with Ren BTC, it's actually BTC. So because a BTC is placeholding for that. So PHEX or Hex on the Pulse chain is a completely different coin.
Different token.
So they should not be the same price necessarily, and they can be wildly different. Like I said, Hex on the Pulse chain could be $1 and eHex could be 1 cent. That's totally possible. So don't think that you're going to be able to arbitrage and buy Ethereum version of Hex for 1 cent and sell it for $1 somewhere. That's not how it works. So
yeah. And then like you're going to see all these liquidity pairs start forming with these ERC20s and PRC20s, and Richard's already spoken on Pancake Swap being forked over. So you're gonna have some sort of liquidity token that you can go farm. So there's just gonna be so much opportunity on Pulse Chain once it launches. Like it's just gonna be a money printing machine. Like if you know what you're doing and you make the right moves, you can become incredibly wealthy.
Yeah, absolutely. There could be really, really big opportunities. So one thing with liquidity farming is the best thing that you can do is find 2 coins that are both bullish, right? So like let's say let's say it was earlier in the year, right? It was like January or whatever, and you were looking for a good pair. Like Ethereum and Matic would have been a great pair to farm on, right?
Yeah, for
because
sure.
you're getting a high percentage, and then you're accumulating, because the way liquidity farming works is you're accumulating the coin that is less valuable. But if both coins are going up in value, then it's amazing, right? Because you're not only getting a liquidity provider fee, you're also accumulating a token that's also going up in value while selling the one that's appreciating more.
And an LP
theoretically,
token.
Yes, and the LP token. So theoretically, if like the Godwill, that's why like on Twitter I was like asking Godwill, I said, hey, are you going to support both? Or are you just going to do one?
I wish he answered, but yeah, I didn't think he would answer that question.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's not going to answer it, but we'll have to see.
Too much alpha.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, we'll be able to make determinations. But if he does, let's say, and Ethereum version of Hex is doing well, and the Pulse version is doing well, then providing liquidity on that pair could be extremely profitable.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be literally insane. Now, in the case that one of them was going to potentially die off, you would not want to provide liquidity because you would be accumulating the token going down. Correct, which is called impermanent loss.
Yep. Boom. Okay. Knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge.
Knowledge.
I know. I get really frustrated sometimes when I listen to like Hexicans talking about this stuff, and they literally don't understand what they're talking about
because they've never done it
anyway. Yeah, but they shouldn't be talking about it if they don't know what they're talking about. Like that's frustrating.
But they have to seem smart, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
But like I've heard some new Hexican channels, and I listen for 15 minutes and I just shut it off. It's fucking.
I mean, I don't want to like dissuade them, and like some people are like really good at what they.
There's some really good ones coming out.
Yeah, but they shouldn't talk about things they don't understand, or they should just get somebody that knows on the channel, and to clarify certain things, because they'll just say, "Oh, well, I don't know about that," or I don't know.
Well, anyway. It's better to say that you don't know than fake it till you make it and try to give the illusion that you do know more than what you do on a subject.
Yeah.
Much rather you be honest and just say, "Yeah, I don't know."
Absolutely.
No, definitely. Wendy's. I love that.
Yeah. So it's pretty great. So yeah, actually, we could talk about. Steve was saying so. Strategy might be to get as much PLS as you can and provide liquidity for PLS PHEX pair. Well, let me talk about this for a second, because this is something that's pretty crazy, right? So one of the reasons why Hex is probably the most decorrelated crypto in the crypto market is because most of our liquidity is with USDC, right? So the interesting thing about that is when the rest of the crypto market dumps, it doesn't necessarily pull us down, right? Because we're pegged to $1 essentially. So the only thing that brings us up and down is people buying and selling. Whereas most liquidity on other
centralized exchanges,
centralized exchanges. It could be Ethereum, it could be Bitcoin. So everything moves in lockstep with each other. And if you look at like a lot of like market cap things, and you see on the right where it shows the chart, they all look the same. They all look exactly the same. They're going up together, they're going down together, but Hex is very, very different. Now, one thing that's really, really interesting though is if Hex is on the Pulse chain is the primary pair is PLS. Well, PLS is a new token, okay? PLS can easily go up thousands of X, right? And what happens when that happens? It will literally drag up Hex more than we can even imagine. You know, so things like Unisocks and stuff like that was dragged up by ETH going up from $80 to almost $5,000, right?
Right.
So Pulse's meteoric rise can also accelerate the rise of Hex, and both can go to the moon together. So there's a lot of like crazy stuff that can happen that people aren't even thinking about.
And then take some LP tokens with you for gravy.
Yep, and exactly. And if you wanted to get some LP tokens, you could do that too. And yeah,
take your earnings and go gamble with them, you know.
Well, this is what's so exciting too, because especially for us Hexicans, and I know DC has talked about this before. A lot of Hexicans are going to lose their shirt because they haven't dabbled in really anything outside of this. They're a little bit too much of maximalists, but yeah, there's so much opportunity, and like this whole having our own network now, and all this stuff with liquidity farming and liquidity pairs, like there's so much opportunity, but then at the same time, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be very dangerous as well. But it's exciting, right? Like it's nice because Hex, you could be as simple as you want to make it or as complex as you want to make it. But at the end of the day, once you figure out Hex, like you got it. There's nothing else, right? And this is why you see a lot of the Hex streamers and content. It does get a little bit stale at times because like you can only talk about one thing for so often. But PulseChain just opens up the fucking door to everything, literally everything. And not only does it open it up to everything, but then it opens up the door to stuff that's never been done before, like the copying over the entire system state of Ethereum. It's never been done before. It's a whole new experiment that's about to take place. So like, when this thing goes live, it's gonna be absolute madness. Like this, it's just gonna be this crazy experiment that's never taken place before in crypto, and it's gonna be an exciting ride. Yeah. Lots of opportunity if you know where to look.
No, for art. I mean, because like when the Uniswaps thing happened, that was the first time that ever happened. That was ridiculous. But they literally made a token that if you could claim it on the web. If you actually owned it, you just go to the website, deposit it on the website, and they'll ship it from stocks.
Yeah, they're not even high. They're not even high quality stocks.
No, people have already made holes in the
no
stocks.
Cashmere here. No cashmere.
So,
but
I asked another really good question.
Yo, I did tell Voice to keep some of those stocks, but he sold them. So
I mean, it's kind of hard when your stocks go to like $80,000 to
get rid of.
No, he sold way before that. I think he sold under like 2 Gs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Steve said, so is it likely that because of the correlation between Pulse and PHEX could far surpass EHEX? How could EHEX keep up if it's correlated mostly to a stablecoin? Okay, that's a great question. Truthfully, I'm extremely bullish on PHEX, but let's talk about pumpamentals and hidden pumpamentals, okay? Right. So Ethereum, right? Transactions can be $500 to $1,500, right? If you are having to pay $500, or let's just say like $70 to start a stake and maybe like up to $500 to $1,500 to end a stake, how long are you going to stake for? If everybody can't afford the gas fees and so they have to stake very, very long, the average staking length on EHEX could increase very, very high, over 10 years, potentially close to 15 years, as people are just hoping for a solution, right? So that is theoretically a way that, whereas on Pulse, you could potentially end a stake for under a penny. So people could potentially stake shorter. So that's something to think about, where, you know, the EHEX could be more of a long-term hodl coin. So that's one thing. And then also like buys would have to be bigger, right? Like if you're going to buy something and pay $150 fee, you got to be buying, you know, 4 to 5 figures at least to make it, you know, to have a decent ROI, right? You don't want to lose 10% buying a coin off the bat, and then lose another 10% by staking it. So, you know, that is a hidden pumpamental, and, you know, truthfully, we don't know, but that's something that could have a decent effect. I mean, truthfully, I honestly don't know what's going to happen, but I would tend to think that if Ethereum hex survives, it's going to people are going to stake it a long time, a long time.
Yep, I totally agree with that. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of like kind of funky stakes and more income, more like smaller income ladders stakes and stuff on PX.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like more insurance, right? Like you just don't know,
Yeah.
so you got this coin, so just stake it out far, and then you don't have to, stress about what's going on. You pump that thing out 10 years, and you're like, Vitalik fix Ethereum, and if he doesn't, I got P-Hex, right?
Right. I mean, the way I'm gonna play it is I'm kind of gonna stake on both sides and just
Oh, for sure.
keep my shares.
Yeah,
up on
absolutely.
everything,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah! Shout out to Crypto King. What's going on? I guess David Feeder's going on Rogue News. Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Shit. Thanks. Oh, Hexagon CJ. Damn. Man, I want coffee so bad. I'm struggling, man.
Go make coffee.
I know, I'm just trying not to, man.
Stay up. Yeah. Fuck it. Jack your sleep cycle up more. Do it. Let the caffeine flow through you, bro. Just do it.
Don't fucking put that bang in front of me, motherfucker.
It's so good. So good.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hit the like button, you guys. The fuck.
Yeah, hit the like, share the stream, We're dropping some knowledge in here, so
retweet that shit on Twitter, you guys. Oh, I know all you guys got Twitter. Fucking retweet, retweet that fucking tweet.
Ethereum is becoming less. There really should be. Ethereum is becoming less correlated to Bitcoin. Look at the total crypto market cap on a chart. The total crypto market cap in 2020 and 2021 looks more like an ETH chart than the BTC chart. Man, I will tell you something as someone that was in ETH, a long time, since 2016. Ethereum in the beginning, the inflation was so high and it was still outpacing Bitcoin with no game theory. EIP 1559 was a game changer, man. Like, Ethereum is getting more and more adoption. Smart contracts does make crypto exciting. There's a lot of stuff that you can do, and there's people thinking of new things. Look at like liquid loans and stuff. Like people are always thinking of new things that you can do, or you could tweak things. So it's interesting, and NFTs are a big thing. I think they'll continue to be big things. What they change into, I don't know. I think that the NFT space is going to grow though. So, every time that someone is buying, selling, trading, speculating, doing anything on Ethereum, it's burning Ethereum. So you're getting to a point of like negative issuance. So yeah, it's going to do better than Bitcoin. I mean, it is the way it is.
Yep. It will flip it at some point.
Absolutely.
What's your thoughts on Baby Boom? I ain't got much thoughts on it. It's not a rug or nothing. It's just like it's not an altcoin I'm investing into, basically. Last time you were sleep deprived, you scared us, Miguel. Oh, don't worry, man. I'm getting some sleep now. Don't worry. Yeah. Will Hex have a burn someday? No, I don't think so. I think because the contract's locked.
I mean, it already does have burning, right?
Well, it burns when you stake.
Well,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, burns the coins out of existence, and it only remints them plus your interest plus your emergency and stake bonus when you end the stake.
Yeah.
But not in the burn function that I'm sure they were alluding to.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
It will have encapsulated stakes at some point, though. You might have the ability to actually sell off your T shares in the future. Should be interesting.
Yeah,
it would be interesting.
So Wendy's and Molly, you guys are just 100% back home already, you guys?
Yeah, until London.
Yeah, until London.
Till London, baby. You should start making your way over there. I know a lot of Hexicans are making the trip, making the pilgrimage. The
pilgrimage to Richard Hart.
It does suck that it's in the UK with their strict COVID bullshit.
It should have been like Miami or something, but
even Portugal would have been
Portugal
better.
Would have been great.
Yeah. People that are unvaccinated could have flown in.
Yeah, you have to have full vaccination.
Well, you don't have to, but you have that 10-day wait period, or if you got money, you got to wait 5 days. But I know some Hexicans may or may not be doing some fly to this country and then do some border crossing kind of
Cross the
stuff.
border,
Yeah, so that's always an option as well. That's probably your go-to move. Fly to a country close by, take the train, sea, boat, whatever, across. You'd be good. Gotta do what you gotta do, son. But yeah, no, it would have been a lot more convenient. It'll be nice when eventually Richard comes over to the States and we have some actual serious like hex conventions in the state with like Richard leading them. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
Because right now he's just been doing the European kind of tour and we're like, damn.
right.
Yeah. Let's see.
Where did my name come from? My 4 attendees. So I was pretty active like in the Ethereum subreddits and stuff, and I was a nurse. I was like working 2 jobs, just like grinding, buying crypto with both my jobs, and like most of the downtime I would have is like when I was on my lunch break, and my hospital had a Wendy's, so I'd go to Wendy's for tendies, and that's when I would like shit post on like Reddit and stuff, and that's when I would do like a lot of my crypto research and stuff. And tendies is also like a meme of like money, so it was just kind of like one of those things, and I thought it was like catchy, Wendy for tendies. So yeah, and apparently like a lot of people thought I was a chick, so I think it's the nurse and the Wendy's thing, but
and
but
the
it's
Wendy's
the
part.
restaurant. Yeah, it's Wendy's the restaurant. That's why
Well,
my avatar.
she was also a chick, so
yeah, true.
Oh my god, that burp was awful. Lots of Korean barbecue in that.
Terrible.
Yeah,
Terrible.
a little bit of puke, a little bit of Korean barbecue.
Keep drinking,
Wash it
bro.
down.
Keep drinking.
Better.
Did you see? Do we have a scam? Real Godwill in the chats.
What?
He says.
Is there one in there?
The Real Godwill. Yeah. If you're real, follow me.
No, yo, follow me.
Follow me.
Get the fuck out of here, pussies. There's only one way to prove it. Follow me. Yeah, no.
Or scam.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, when he followed me, like I'm not gonna lie, I was like a little schoolgirl. It's like, oh shit.
Oh my god.
It was an exciting day for sure, and I mean I think we needed this
man.
after the week. I mean everybody was like going at each other, I guess I can be like a honorary lady of Hex, I guess. I don't know, I'll hang out with the chicks.
It's not the worst place to be.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I did cheerleading to hang out with the chicks, and it was awesome. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, you want to be on the cheerleading team?" Like, yeah, I get to.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. Look at the ratio.
Yeah, you get to feel like chicks all the time. Well, yeah, and you get to basically like cop a feel all the time. When you're like 16, it's pretty awesome.
Oh my god, Jesus.
Good times.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
Why buy Hex? What's the deal? Yeah. Damn,
Hex
DC. Someone knows your stream and they don't know why to buy Hex. Shame. Shame.
No, it's just is what it is. And like sometimes Hex isn't somebody's cup of tea, and then eventually after a while they're like, "Oh fuck, yeah, I should have."
I mean, if making money is your cup of tea, Hex is a good place
10x,
to be.
Like every 10x, you guys are gonna learn, and it's like I have friends guys, that I got in
just becomes
before
more
Big
painful.
Payday, and these guys have like gone into so many shit coins, gotten rugged. I mean, there's so many people. I'm not gonna like name people out, but there's been so many people that they would literally just be retired if they just went into Hex. But like people overcomplicate it,
Right.
and it's too much. So it's like it's at $1. Like I had a friend. I said, like Hex is going to $100, and he said, let it get to $1 first. And then I'm like, oh yeah, and then you're going to be like, okay, let it get to $10, right? So it's like people can only see like what's going on now. Don't live your life like 1 or 2x at a time. Live it 100x at a time.
That was sick. Live your life 100x at a time.
That's how I do. Grant Cardone has the whole like 10x thing. He's like 10x. I'm like, no, 100x.
I don't even listen to him. once he got
Yeah, I don't either, but I'm just
once
saying,
he
like,
got
just has
schooled
that thing.
once he got schooled by fucking Wolf of Wall
The
Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, that was
Yeah, it's like
pretty beautiful.
you learn quite quickly who's legit and who's not.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. Like he just didn't want to answer anything about sales. It's just so weird.
Yeah, because he Wolf of Wall Street just made him look fucking bad. Just made it like you could tell who the superior salesman and knew more about sales.
Literally embarrassing.
Grant Cardone just has those good like one-liners and like kind of just inspirational. Like you could tell he's just like a motivational kind of speaker thing. But like
yeah, it was the closest thing to a Richard Hart interview, like in normal finance that I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it was. It was just someone that was found themselves way out of their league and trying to like compete. It just wasn't even close.
I mean, I don't even think it was that malicious. I mean,
no, it wasn't. That was the thing. I forgot. I think maybe it was Meet Kevin. Someone did like a breakdown of the interview, and it was really good because they were going over like each other's like body language and everything like that. I think it was Meet Kevin, and he was showing how what's the Wolf of Wall Street's name? Is it Jordan
Belfort?
Belfort, yeah, Jordan Belfort. Like when he realized he was like pushing Grant Cardone into like a spot he was uncomfortable with, or maybe didn't have the correct answer, like you could see him like trying to like bring him back and just like take that pressure back off of him. It was like trying to keep the conversation going and not putting him on the defensive every time. But like Grant Cardone was so far out of his element, like he couldn't help himself because every time he just kept getting put in the situation where like he was just way over his head, and even Jordan was like trying to coax him through it, but it was a rough interview for him for sure. He lost a lot of points on that one. Let's see. How's Joey?
Guys, there's no way that's the real Godwell in the chat.
No, it's definitely not. Yeah, sure, Godwell, you can join.
I DM the real
just
I listened to the link.
No, I was just saying, real Godwell can DM from his Twitter account, which is verified already. So you can DM DC from your verified Twitter account, which is what's the actual one? Let's see.
It's at the real Godwell.
No, it's the real Godwell. That's all it is. Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, no. Some reason I wasn't computing the @ symbol. Yeah. So it's cool. Just send DC a Twitter message and we'll let you on. If not, you scam, sir.
Scam.
You know what I've been surprised lately is like how strong some of the guys from like Maddie's group have been going on about like 11-18.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, it's interesting, but like again, we don't know. But there was plenty of things to make it look like 11-18 could happen. But again, like if you don't know the time, if you don't know, like it doesn't matter. And like unless you're trying to like be a trade tard, like yeah, it's just one of those things that it just doesn't matter. So
yeah, it's just fun. Alex Jones. It's just Alex Jones conspiracy theory. You just enjoy it, and guess what? The worst case scenario is you bought some hex at like all-time lows recently. So congratulations. You bought before Godwell, and you're primed for the release of PulseChain. So either way, it worked out. But yeah, it was just fun. It was something to kind of switch it up from the toxicity and crybabies of Twitter during that dip. But there's a lot of stuff that does kind of align with it. I think we will get some sort of announcement or something big on November 18th, but it's not going. It's not going to be the launch of mainnet.
I feel like he'll do a stream or something, and maybe he'll say something. But
he might say the time window of PulseChain, or
right.
it could be a snapshot. We don't know, but I think something big will happen on the 18th.
Yo, be careful with time and ohm and all that shit, bro. Like all those coins are supposed to go to $1 over time. So as soon as people stop buying them, what happens is the APY doesn't go away. What they're trying to do with the APY is to inflate them down to $1. So if you can kind of get at some point you'll be holding the bag basically on that. Because I know quite a lot of people who got into those kind of coins early on made some money, but some of the guys who got in later just like it's a Ponzi. Like the Ponzi's.
Yeah, a lot of those are Ponzi, strong Ponzi.
There's nothing wrong. I guess nothing wrong with that if you
no. As long as you know. But you got to ask those questions. Like me and Motley were having a conversation. Yeah, you were there too, and I was asking about strong. I was like, okay, well, what happens? Yeah, I was like, what happens after? And he's like, nothing. Like there's no more. I was like, okay, that's literally a Ponzi.
Oh, right. So what's the token do?
I was like,
uh,
yeah.
make more tokens.
It makes more
What,
tokens
what-
until it doesn't make any more
What
at some
what
point,
what
and then
what
it's
was
done.
that? What was it? Strong or
Yeah, it's strong.
I don't know.
yeah, yeah. It was funny. I was just like, no, it's not. It's like, what? That's not possible unless it's like a straight up positive. It's
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
it,
yeah,
it,
look at
and
the
then he's just like,
positive.
he
And he's like,
just like looked at us. He's like, yeah, it is. We're like, yeah. Yep. I mean, and again, if you invest in something like that and you understand what you're playing,
as long as you know.
I mean, good luck.
As long as you know. I always thought do you remember FOMO 3D back in the day?
No.
No, thank God.
So basically, it was like
Sounds
Yeah,
degen as fuck.
oh, it was very, very degen. So it was a game on Ethereum where you would essentially, so there was a timer, right? You would put Ethereum in and the timer would reset. Okay. Well, if the timer got to zero, the last person that put ETH in would get the whole bag. And so it got to hundreds, thousands of Ethereum, right? And it's like 10, 9, and then it was just it was basically a Ponzi scheme. It was a Ponzi game, but yeah, pretty funny, But hey, as long as you know that that's what it is, and you know the rules of the game, like, and
that's
you play it.
That's more of a game. That's more like you're going to the casino to gamble, like which is what you're getting into. But like,
right, exactly.
Time and Ohm and all this shit. Like, you guys, like, come on, even Tomb. Like, I like Tomb. I like Tomb on Phantom, but like, bro, it's a fucking Ponzi. Like, literally.
Mm-hmm.
I love how people call Hex a Ponzi, and then like there's literally Ponzi's.
Yeah, there actually is Ponzi's in. Yes, there actually is Ponzi's in crypto, and Hex is 100% not one of them.
Not. It's either two things. Your information's either your knowledge is lacking on what a Ponzi actually is, or how Hex works. One of the two. Your knowledge is woefully lacking at that point.
Yeah.
And at this point, I've gotten tired of correcting every fucking pleb on Twitter, so I just don't even care anymore. Just stay poor.
It's just funny because it's like no matter how many times you say the same thing, it's like somebody else joins the stream and then they say like, "Huh?" I'm like, what? What is this? So it's like you literally can't say it enough times. It's just like it can get exhausting sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just basically be a grown up, decide whatever. If you're gonna get into Hex, make a position in it, be happy with that, and just sit back and wait. That's it. Like it's so simplistic. Or if you like it even more, you fucking go hard in the paint, and then you reap the rewards, and you risk it for the biscuit, basically. But you're risking it for the biscuit.
You got to.
But it's
you got to risk it for the biscuit.
It's a good biscuit.
It's a great biscuit.
Yeah.
It's a great biscuit.
That shit ain't saltines, baby. That's Ritz crackers, baby. That shit.
Hey, I like both. I like both.
Right.
For sure. But yeah, like a boomer telling you that like crypto is a Ponzi, like like some cryptos are Ponzi's, but that boomer probably cannot explain to you what a Ponzi is, and what the difference between a Ponzi and like Bitcoin is. It's funny.
I mean, technically,
Social Security,
everything
right?
likes a Ponzi. I mean, everything's a Ponzi technically. If you really think about it, it's kind of.
Not really. Not
based off the actual definition.
Not based on the actual.
Ponzi is like a specific. What you're saying is that like when people stop buying stuff, it stops going up. That's
some shit happens.
Everything is based off supply and demand. That is true. But a Ponzi, it doesn't matter because at some point it completely
Ponzi,
collapses.
you're using
whereas,
you're using
like
the profits from those before you.
Money to buy people in. Yeah.
You need new investors to come in.
When most people, when they say Ponzi, and what we're trying to also say in a way is like, it's like, it's going to collapse. That's all they're saying basically when they're saying like, oh, it's going to go to zero. That's basically, it's a nicer way of them trying to say, like, it's a more sophisticated way of them say that shit's going to go to zero. Basically, that's what they're trying to say.
But truthfully, like, what blue chip has ever gone to zero? It's like it doesn't really happen.
Right.
So like even the stock market corrects, can correct 80%. And I mean, like, what gains do you get for that risk of a 50 to 80% crash? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So
the only thing that Hex promises you is more Hex at the end of your stake. That's all it is. Interest paid out in the form of inflation. Like that's all you get. The unknown is the price. What is someone willing to pay for that Hex down the road? You don't know that. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And zero buy it all. That's the plan, I guess.
Oh, show.
Yeah, man. It's pretty funny. Let's see one. Let's see. How about we get into a dog coin before the big pump, and then we get out and take our props into Hex.
A lot of people have done that.
Be careful, and people lost big on
A
that.
lot, and most lose. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
You gotta be careful with that.
If you're getting into a dog coin, especially at this point, probably gonna have an awful time.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a time, guys, to like buy dog coins and stuff, and
It's not during the prime of the bull market.
Right.
It's not now.
You should buy.
You know,
I mean, if
like
you're
Doge has
gonna
had
get that
Doge especially. Like, if you've been in multiple cycles, you know how Doge goes. Like, there'll be a point in the cycle before the bull market where Doge starts to go, and it's like it's one of the symbols of like the bull market is getting ready to start.
Right.
You know, so when it's down 97%, 95%, and Sheep's down 95%, if you want to get like a
Sure.
small
Scoop it
position, you
back.
want to risk it for the biscuit, scoop it. But to buy it now, man, you guys are crazy. Like, I ain't touching Sheep at all. And you know, like,
Yeah,
I'm down
everyone knows it's
for
about
degen stuff
Floki,
sometimes,
duh.
but like, yeah, I mean, shit, you know, like, man, yeah, I was shilled Floki very early, but I like assets, man. I like things that pay me. I like, you know, I don't know. I live
Yield,
off crypto.
baby.
Like,
It's all about yield.
Yeah, it's all about yield, man. It's all about yield, and I don't know.
And Hex
I
does
can
it better than
speculate on
everything
the
else.
dog coin, but it's just, yeah, it's definitely not happening now.
No.
Yeah.
It
Too
sure
much
does.
money to be.
Yeah, Hex is.
Too mu-
I said
Yeah,
it the
go.
last time I was on Dollar Cost Stream. You know, everybody, you don't only have to own Hex, and maybe you shouldn't own only Hex,
But it
but
better be part of your
everybody should own
portfolio.
Hex.
Yeah.
It better be part of your portfolio because it's a passive income stream that will protect you from yourself. It'll have more diamond hands than you possibly could imagine.
Right.
Oh yeah, this is good. Steve just put a comment in there. I saw this in the Hex Train chat. Some guy left Hex, sold about like $1.5 million, and then dumped in some shit coins, and then he came crawling back at about 860,000. The guy lost over $500,000 going in and out of Hex within like a week or two.
Into Shiba. That was Shiba.
Was it Shiva?
Yeah, it was Shiba.
Oof. Wrecked.
Yeah.
Wrecked. And again, this is why holders make all the money.
I mean, hey, I will say this about the dog coins. I mean, I'm at least happy it's dog coins versus cat coins all day, bro. All day, man.
There you
That
go.
The cat coins are coming. The cat coins are coming. I've already seen them.
Yep. Oh yeah. They're there.
Cash sign kitty.
So someone just shilled me. One of my friends shilled me like Cat World or Cat Woman or something. I don't even know. I asked him. I was like, why'd you invest? They didn't even respond back to me. I was like, yeah, okay. It's bad though. Yeah, when you start getting shilled cat coins, whew, we're peaking, boys.
Not
We're
good.
peaking.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
did you guys tell
So-
yourselves to stay motivated on long days?
Cat Girl was the name
Not
of the
much
coin.
action going on in the market. It's difficult working 78 to 80 hour work weeks with no one around me doing the same thing. I'm still telling myself to keep pushing. It's just the drive.
Bro,
It's just you have to want it.
I can.
Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. You have to want it
Everyone
more
up
than
here is
anything, and,
working
like-
those crazy hours. You know.
Yeah,
I worked those
I did it
crazy hours and I
consistently,
didn't even
man.
get
I
paid
did it
for them.
for multiple years. He didn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
did.
you're
I
right.
did that shit in the
True,
military,
but,
and I got paid 0 overtime. But that just meant I had to go hustle somewhere else. So like for me, it was real estate back in the day. So you just gotta go out there and grind. That's all it is. It sucks, but
Look,
you're grinding
the
a year or
opportunity-
two for the freedom for the rest of your life. That's all it comes down to. You got to put in the blood, sweat, and
So
tears.
the way that I mentally did it was I was making $300 to $400 a day as a nurse. Okay. And I was thinking like, okay, 10x, right? Like I'm buying, especially because it was the bear market, right? I was like, I'm going to get at least a 10x on this. So I'm making $4,000 a day. And I was working 6 days a week. I'm like, man, I'm rich. I'm just not there yet. And I had a lot of people felt really, really bad for me. And I would tell people, I said, look, do not feel bad for me. because I'm gonna retire before all y'all fools. I'm gonna be traveling the world and be doing all stuff. Yo,
Talk your
people
shit,
talk
Wendy's.
so much
Talk
shit
your
about
shit.
me. Yeah,
No.
people did not believe me. They're utter disbelief, and like Molly met some of the people like I used to work with.
I
'cause
was
we,
I
like,
was
brought
just
them
about to
out when
say,
we were in
bro,
Miami
like
on the yacht.
when we're traveling, like I got to meet some of Wendy's friends, like other nurses, and you know they would tell stories. It's like, yeah, this dude was picking up all the extra overtime. He was eating peanut butter sandwiches every day. He wouldn't like go out and eat with us. He wouldn't go out party with us. Was just dude was focused on the grind, grind, hustle. Like he was the man was like focused, and you could tell like they're all saying that. And like now he's over here. He's financially free. He's retired. He's like he was overweight at one point. He lost like 50 pounds. And like the dude's like me, he's like petty as shit. So now now he just like rubs it in everyone's faces. He's just like, yeah, I could, because like
I
all
do.
all his haters are just like, oh, like because they see everything he's posting, like, oh, you're gonna go broke, gonna go this. Like, you have no idea how much fucking money I have. And it's just like he's just sitting there just rubbing it in all their faces. But it didn't come overnight, right? Like it was years of just sitting there grinding, eating peanut butter sandwiches, picking the extra shifts that no one else wanted to, skipping that night at the club, not getting bottle service, not buying $20 drinks. And now we can have that, right? Like him and we can go travel. We can go buy those VIP tables, get bottle service, and pay 10 grand for worth of like alcohol and like 3 bottles. Like that shit doesn't even phase us now. But like that's because we made sacrifices before that. Like we put in our time, we put in our blood, we put in our sweat and tears. Like it's not an overnight success by any stretch of the imagination. People just never see that. They just see us on stream where they see other people they look up to and like, oh, those guys made it. Like they made it, like in their heads they think it happened like this, but it was years of build up.
Yeah, I think it was easy.
Yep.
It was not easy. But let me tell you guys, look, Motley says all the time, he's like, you're so petty. I am petty. And it feels really good. It feels really good to see people that like talk shit about you or thought bad about you, or to like stun on your ex. Like, oh man, it is hilarious. It is hilarious. And I savor every last tear. Okay. I love it. I love life. And I was right. And it's good to be right. Yeah. It's good to be right. So
Delicious.
You know what I say, and I pretty much say it every time I stream. I say to you guys out there that are grinding, like, keep at it. No one's going to be able to tell you anything but yourself. You got to believe. You have to know that you're in an asset class that is outpacing everything. You have to understand about the macro events with inflation. You have to know what you're doing. And guess what? Even if you get timing wrong, the bear market will save you, because that's when you really, really, really will get wealthy.
That's where you grow.
You'll be stacking up coins.
Yeah.
You'll be stacking up coins, and the next time everybody and their mom is buying dog coins, you will be so rich that you're just like doing whatever the hell you want. So you know what? It's going to be a hard grind. It's not going to be easy, and people will think that it came really, really easy, and people will ask for handouts, all this shit. But guess what? Like, at the end of the day, you'll know that you put in the work, you hit your dreams, and like it does feel great. I'll tell you that it does feel great. The ribeyes taste just as good as they look. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Make sure, I mean, at the end of the day too, make sure you start like switching that thing in your mind that to go buy during the bear market when everything's down and you think crypto's done and like there's no way it's coming back. Like that, again, that's your buying signal. Don't get it twisted. Don't get discouraged. Like, you should be accumulating. That's truly how you grow those bags. Buying at the top of a bull market and chasing pumps and green candles, not the way to do it. Chasing those dog coins, cat coins, whatever, not the way to do it. It's just how you get wrecked and have to sit there and grind for more and more years.
Well, anyway,
and if you make mistakes, don't beat yourself up. Just learn from it.
Learn. Yeah. If you don't learn from it, then you fucked up. But if you learn from it, it's all good.
Yep.
All of us have been wrecked at some point.
Just don't walk away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just don't walk away. Anyway, I'm getting fucking. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm so tired. But like, Motley, where's the best place for people to follow you, man?
Motley Investor everywhere: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it.
Hex merch.
Hex merch. Go follow LVC News. All three of us are part of the company. We're going to be building projects, coins, promoting other PulseChain products. So if you haven't gone and subscribed, go to Legion VC News Twitter. We got some more interviews coming soon for new PulseChain projects, and then ours are coming close to completion within the next month or two. So stay tuned. Hopefully, they should coincide pretty closely with the launch of PulseChain. So, pretty excited.
Yeah. And Wendy's 410Ds, where can people follow you, man?
At 410Ds on Twitter. You know, I'll be coming with them spicy memes sometimes. So, you know, follow, you might get a laugh. Like Molly said, you know, check out our Legion VC news. We're looking for projects. If you're in touch with a project, if you're following a project, you know, hit them up and tell them to hit us up, and we'd love to have them on. You know, we're really experienced in crypto, so we're going to ask the good questions, the questions that you need answered.
Yeah, it's not going to be a softball interview.
We're gonna we're gonna ask the hardball stuff. You know, we're not going to be like aggressive or anything, but you know, we're gonna ask the hard questions, right? So it's the, you know, we're the ones
That's
that
for
you really
y'all's
want
benefit.
to check the interviews out. Yeah, it's for you guys, you know. So so definitely follow us there, and you know, to, like I said, to people who, you know, if you can't grind, I saw somebody in the comments say you can't grind. There's always a way to grind, my man. Like even if you can't grind at home, like there's a million ways to make money online. There's something.
I can grind at home.
So, you know, just well, anyways, my God.
Don't you worry about it. I got
it. So make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit the notification bell for real, because what will happen is you come back to the channel, you find out you're not subscribed anymore.
And you probably missed like 8 videos too. Like that stupid bell feature now. Like if you don't click that bell, you might not ever see any of DC's videos.
Don't let Google rug you.
Yeah, fuck Google.
Yeah.
You hear that? Fuck Google.
The stream just cuts.
Yeah. And gone. Yeah.
But man, I can't wait. Like the future's so bright for Hex, Pulse, and all of crypto, man. And just stick with it, you guys, and just keep DCAing, you know, what you can. Obviously, like none of us started rich. Absolutely nobody up here was rich at all. Like working class dudes that fucking made it, that we're making it to the top, you know. That's what's up.
Top of the top.
Top of the top, man.
Ain't stopping us.
Ain't stopping. Won't stop.
Nope. Keep going.
Well, all right, you guys.